So I'm not going to compare DoubleDragon Revive to the original DoubleDragon 1987 arcade game. I think what they've done is they have mashed up all the games, the Nintendo versions, the DoubleDragon arcade game, and they've given us this new one. I'm in my 40s and I'm into games, so a lot of people might think I'm playful and boisterous and immature, and I'll take that, that's fine. But the thing is, that doesn't mean that I like sort of cutesy pie storylines and stuff. I'm sort of a bit over seeing young, handsome, you know, spunks with amazing hair wearing neon colored clothes and having a bare chest, freshly shaved. If you look at the old DoubleDragon poster, Spike and Hammer were like old. I did a video about it. They're like in their 40s or 50s. If you ask people my age, you know, have you played DoubleDragon? They either have played the arcade game or they've played the Nintendo versions. If you talk about DoubleDragon, I think a lot of people go to the Nintendo versions. But Nintendo and the arcade versions, they're really great. And I think Revive has captured all the elements that made the Nintendo versions really cool, plus the arcade. I mean, I need to say right off the bat, I just don't like it. And it's not because I'm a silly old sausage who likes the old arcade version and Nintendo versions and all the other ports. It's just too flash for me. Billy Lee and Jimmy Lee, or Spike and Hammer, they've had a million costume changes over the years.
In one game, Billy's got red hair. In another game, he's got red pants. Then Jimmy's wearing the red clothes. Then Jimmy's got white hair in one of them.
It's continually changed, and that's fine. But where it is now with this sort of really good looking, you know, young, spunky, chiseled jaw, chiseled chest, chiseled, it's just a bit shit. If I saw Billy and Jimmy Lee as they appear in DoubleDragon Revive at a party, I'd say to my wife, we need to go. These are not our people. So when this was released about a year ago, so many people ragged on it. They said it's awful, etc. I watched it and definitely felt it didn't do it for me. And I don't think much has changed. I think the first thing I noticed when I started playing it this morning, that everywhere you move, you're running. It'd be nice to be able to just walk around and run if you like. In many DoubleDragon games since the originals, they've added this thing of double clicking right or left so you can run. It's a really great feature. It's been used in so many games. DoubleDragon Gaiden, of course, has it. It would have been nice to have the feature in Revive. Instead, you're consistently running. And to me, it takes away from the cinematic enjoyment. It just looks crappy. The jump is like sky high. So if you want to jump and fly kick a guy over here, sure, you can probably do it.
But if you want to just jump here and kick, I mean, it's a shame. Like, it'd be good if you just pressed it lightly, you could just jump. You know, great platformers, when you press the jump button, it just jumps a little bit. That'd be a nice feature to see in a game like this. So you don't press the button, you suddenly jump about 12 meters in the air.
My biggest problem with this, and I've seen this in all the different previews we've seen, is the lighting effects. Just so much electricity and lights. And you know, you can't kick someone without it being a big flash. I don't like it. Why can't you just walk up and punch someone without seeing this big ray of electricity? I think if you could turn that off would be really good. There's a lot of noise on this screen, but you've got these names that follow the characters around, and it's just fucking annoying. The good thing is you can turn the name bars off in the options. The unfortunate, awful, shitty thing is that you cannot turn any of the lighting and flash effects off. If you have a disorder like epilepsy, all this flashing stuff, I mean, it'd be good to turn it off so you can enjoy the game without thinking you're about to have a fit. There's this thing with DoubleDragon years ago that in the Nintendo version, when you have the bat or weapon in DoubleDragon and the Sega Master System version, when you kick or you do certain moves, the bat disappears. Now that was obviously a thing that came down to RAM and how much they could put into the game. But what I noticed here is that when you get the bat, you kick. And in fact, it's not kick because kick throws the bat, which is cool. But when you punch and it does the kick at the end of the punch combo, the bat just disappears. How is that possible in 2025? It's seriously amateur. Unless, of course, it is a homage, a cheeky wink to those Nintendo versions where the bat disappeared when you would kick. Maybe I'm just nitpicking. Seeing Burnov and the arcade machine in the background, I was really looking at the arcade, really having a look to see what they've done. It was a DoubleDragon arcade, and I thought, that's great. And then just as I was enjoying looking at it and wanted to see more, Burnov smashed it to bits. The most iconic move in the DoubleDragon world would be, well, there's probably two, is the elbow. The elbow was the infamous thing that could get you through the first game, the arcade game, you know, pretty easily. It sort of just demolished anyone that was in your way. The other move, of course, was the knee press, or whatever you call it. There was this incredible function where you could grab the person. If you'd be kicking them, he suddenly grabs them and he just starts to knee them in the head. It's one of the coolest moves in any game. It really is. It's sort of the same as Hagar in Final Fight. The fact you could jump up and pile drive people. That was another move that for me is really memorable. The knee move from the arcade game, it has been featured in many ports to other computers. And I was really blown away by the fact that it's not in here. Now, I've only played as Billy Lee, so it might be a Jimmy thing, or it might be a Marion, or whatever other absurd characters they bring into this game. They do have a move that's similar, where you grab them and you can punch them in the gut repeatedly, and it's really cool, and I like that sort of thing in a game. But why not make that the knee? DoubleDragon, the arcade, you could kick the knife. It was a really cool feature. And you could also kick barrels and crates and the rock. And in this, I quite like that there's things on the ground and you can actually kick them. It's pretty cool. Again, like, this game seems so quick and everything's happening at once. I don't know. You go to kick it and it does work, and the stream of like electricity, and there's all this animation that doesn't really need to be there. And playing it, like, maybe it's just me, an old gamer, but you know, this is flashing saying you can work with this thing in the environment, and here's a ball, you can kick this, and this guy here is about to get you, so we're going to show you that he's coming, and we're going to make this red line on the pavement so you know to jump over it. I don't think we need that stuff. You learn the patterns the more you play them.
You know, you don't play Mario Brothers back in the 80s and have the enemy show you the path of where they're going to hurt you or where you should jump.
And I think a good example of that would be the fact that this second level that is reminiscent of the second level in Double Dragon, which I really liked, with the crates and the fact that you have to jump up there. Really cool. But you don't need to put on the wall in the background in like some graffiti, jump up here. Do you think we're idiots? Do you think we're going to get to that section and go, oh, I'm stumped. What the hell do we do now? You know, Double Dragon was one of the first games in the arcade that had the arrow pointing which way to go. I get it. But you don't need to write it on a wall. And then when you get to the top of the crates, it actually says to go down. I mean, what do you expect us to do? Go back? Or do you think, oh, this is the end of the game, we're just stuck on this pile of crates now? I think I've reached a conclusion. The thing with people like me, speaking for myself, I love the old games. I love the pixels. I love the nostalgia. And I don't know why I ever thought this game was going to tickle my fancy. I'll play this game and I'll continue to work it out, but I'm going to stop pretending that it's Double Dragon. And I also don't want to be picky, and I don't want to be nasty when it comes to this game. I love the idea that there's developers out there that want to keep doing Double Dragon games. I really love that. But in a world where we have the Beats of Rage games, which for fans like me are just a gift from the heavens, we don't really need more games that promise us over like a 1.5 year lead time that you're going to have this version of the arcade game, or this reproduction that's going to tick all the boxes.
In the initial preview of this game, Revive, they literally started it with the arcade game cabinet, and they had the original Double Dragon, plus I think 2 and 3.
Forget about 3. Double Dragon 3 sucks. I think this game, it's too chaotic. There's too much stuff going on for me. I just need something simple. I just want a couple of fairly large characters to walk around. Give me some pixels. Give me some chunky sound effects like the original game. The headbutt, the knee drop, the elbow. There's so many things that are not being addressed on the memo. This game is definitely not for me. This is probably going to get a lot of fans, but they're not going to be grizzled old silly buggers like me who love the original Double Dragon. That's it. I'm going to go and finish playing the game.